Hello, my friends. Let's take a nice breath in and a big sigh. Let the breathing come back to normal. So I have sort of a reputation for being consistently positive. Many people feel like I'm positive most times they see me. What actually is the truth is that I'm resiliently positive. It doesn't mean that I don't have moments in each and every day of despondency or sadness. Those moments each and every day, and I think that's true for a lot of us right now. Today is the day after the election, and many of us are really devastated by the results of the election because there's no clear-cut direction that has been indicated by the American society. I know that most of us have strong views about who they would like to see win or to have won. I certainly have my own views, but I really want to talk about this relationship to bringing things back together eventually and really setting that as an eventual intention. To me, in understanding the level of how far things have gone wrong, it's like looking at a mathematical equation. You get an answer that is so far off. We have to go all the way back to the beginning and see where it went wrong. And in each and every one of our lives, the central place that it went wrong is in our own relationship to our own emotions. If we are so caught up in sort of the anxiety of what is, that we are inflamed and allowing ourselves to be manipulated by our emotions, instead of having our emotions serve us, we end up serving our emotions. And this is when we attempt to manipulate our environment. This is when we try to force our will. Instead of being behind the beat, we try to get ahead of it and make things go the way that we would like them to go. So I just really want to encourage in this time an understanding that the healing that needs to happen, the wholeness that needs to happen, first starts with our relationship to our emotions, and understand that our emotions are really about our relationship to whatever our edge is. This YouTube channel is called Touching the Edge, and that's because in my sessions I teach my clients to touch the edge without bursting through it. So you have an edge of limitation. You have an edge that you can't go beyond. But you also have an emotional edge. It's not necessarily the same. Your emotional edge and your edge of limitation is not necessarily the same. So when we are involved with our edge, which is our fear of what might happen, we tend to want to stay away from that edge. We don't want to deal with it. And really the edge, in any form that comes forth, is really the fear of what change means. That's really what the edge is. Whatever it is, the change of growing older, the changes in our societal demographics. That's a huge part of what this election has been about. The change between how gender roles have shifted and sexual orientation has shifted, all of these different changes. So we need to be aware of our edge in a way that's conscious, so our edge is not manipulated by our own emotions, trying to stay away from it, trying to hide from it, and by not being manipulated by those who would like to use our edge to get us to be invested in things that actually don't even work for us. So it's time for us to get back and understand that being in relationship to that edge is also our place of growth. We grow in relationship to our edge if we are sensitive to it without hiding from it. So let's step to the edge right now. What this time is for, and this time is for you, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you, and it's happening for you to become your best self, for you to come to a relationship to your edge that is an honest experience. The edge is looking in the mirror and being honest with ourselves to the best of our capability, and openness to not saying I'm going to be stuck in any area, that I'm going to grow and try to come to a more full understanding. And that's what this time is about. It's about the ability to take courage and find responsibility, because we can step up to this time. Beauty is part of this time. Yes, even now. So let's find the edge. Let's not hide from it. Let's understand it. And understand that we can shift our relationship to it so that it becomes a source of power rather than a source of degradation. Where we come in contact with the beauty of our life and the companionship of what it means to be human. I love this guy. I used to compare myself to the statue of David, but everybody laughed at me so much that I've shifted to him. Because David is perfection, but so is this guy. And maybe I love him because my shape is becoming more and more like his, but I really feel like I love him because he represents joy. Joy is not hiding from what is. Yes, we have a long way to go. But if we intend it, it is inevitable that we will accomplish it. I'm going to ring the bell. So it's time to step into resilience. It's time to look not just about what's happening, but beyond what's happening. Eventually, we're going to come back together, and eventually something positive is going to happen out of this. I bring my hands in a prayer position, and I bow to you, because I have faith in you, in myself, and in us. Namaste. Thank you, my friend. Let's do this.